Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is your girl, Esther Tech. And if you're coming across my channel for the very first time, thank you for tuning in. And if you are a subscriber or a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. So today in this video, I would like to share with you how you can go ahead and install AWS CLI on your terminal. It might be your Windows terminal, it might be your Mac terminal, it might be your Linux terminal. We need to install AWS CLI before we can be able to go ahead and work with any resources using our cloud services, e.g. AWS. So we have to go ahead and install the AWS CLI. Okay, so let's hop right into the video and let me show you how we can do this.
Solve on, let's build the future. One line of code, one dream at a time. From the cloud to the console, the rhythm flows. Innovation lives where the knowledge grows. SD Tech, your tech journey starts here. Code it, dream it, live it.
For the lab today, right, we want to go ahead and install AWS CLI. And why are we actually using AWS CLI? What is it all about? AWS Command Line Interface, that is actually the CLI means Command Line Interface. It is actually a unified tool to manage your AWS services. With just this one tool, you can download, you can configure multiple AWS services using command line, and you can automate them through script. So that is the essence that we use AWS command line. If you don't have AWS command line installed on any terminal that you want to use, whether it is Windows terminal, Mac terminal, or Linux terminal, if you don't have it, you will not be able to utilize some of these AWS resources, that means on the cloud. So for us to actually go ahead and utilize or manage and configure the AWS resources, we need AWS command line. Okay, so we have to install it on our system. And the main prerequisite for this course, right, is for you to have an AWS account. So once you don't have an AWS account, you can't do that because you want to manage resources in the cloud AWS. How? When you don't have an account. So you want to make sure that you have AWS account. And if you haven't created your AWS account, you want to watch my video on how to create an AWS account. We have a free tier account that is out there. You just want to follow the video and you'll be able to create your own AWS account, and you start learning or you start practicing on how you can use this cloud provider. Okay, so now the objective actually of this lab is us for us to install AWS CLI. That's just it. And we are going to install the CLI. We are going to install it on our Windows, and we are also going to install it on Linux. For those of you that have Mac, you just want to watch video on how you can do that. So directory, so that's where I want to be on my home directory, user st. So that's where I want to actually be. So now that I'm in this directory, we can now go ahead and install our AWS command line interface. So like I said, we have two methods on how we can go ahead and install AWS CLI on our Windows. So we are using PowerShell. So this is our Windows server, but we are actually using our Windows server through PowerShell. If you don't want, you can still go ahead and just click on PowerShell. When you type on PowerShell, you want as admin and you execute the command. It's saying because this is PowerShell, but now I'm using my code editor. That is VS Code. So okay. So in this scenario, like I said, we want to make sure that we install our command line interface on our Windows server. So you can actually install it using the AWS CLI MSI installer. So let me take you back here. Okay, I will bring you back here. Then we're gonna click on this. Like I want to copy this code so that I will open a new tab. I'm gonna open a new tab to actually demonstrate what I'm saying. Okay. We can, when you go to AWS documentation, this is it, AWS documentation, you can see AWS Command Line Interface guide on how you can install it on your various system. Okay, so this is a page. We click out. So they say installing or updating to the latest version of AWS CLI. Maybe you have an old version of it, you want to update to the newer version. This is where you're going to click and follow the instruction that is here on how you can install it. But in this scenario, right, go to our command line. So type PowerShell. You see PowerShell. So now on PowerShell, you want to run as, I mean, I don't like it. I'm not running as administrator. I want to run as an administrator. So I'm going to go back, I close it. Then we go back to our search bar, right? So when we go back to our search bar, we just want to say PowerShell. Then now we have PowerShell. You can see PowerShell, and we want to click on Run as admin. So when you click on Run as admin, you have to go with yes. Now you can see now that I'm running it as an admin, it's not showing that I'm running as a user ST. The other one was showing one as user ST, so it's gonna start giving me all those little hookup around the way, and I don't want to go ahead through that route to explain that to you guys. So I want it to be simple the way you understand. So you don't want to run it as your user, so you want to run it as an admin. So just go ahead and run it here. Then once you run it here, you'll be able to use your PowerShell terminal on your Visual Studio Code to carry out all everything. So we're gonna see, we're still gonna say Choco to check. You can see Choco is there, so we're gonna say Choco install AWS CLI and click enter. You're gonna see now it's installing without any complaint. So we're gonna type yes and continue. It's downloading. Okay. So it's actually downloading. So it's downloading the packages. So after we are done, we're going to type AWS version to see if it was actually installed. Okay. Then install. So let's go ahead and click on clear. In Windows, the clear is usually, let me see if it will work. Clear. If it doesn't work, we try the other one. It works anyway. Okay. So now we can type, AWS version. The AWS version to check if it was actually installed. How is it not? If AWS CLI was installed correctly, you can display its version with AWS version. But it showed that it was installed, right? Why is it failing now? Okay. So let's troubleshoot. Okay. Let's troubleshoot. I'm just gonna go back here. So troubleshooting AWS CLI install on install error. If you come across issue after installing or on installing the AWS CLI, see the troubleshooting error for the AWS CLI. For troubleshooting tips for the step relevant troubleshooting, see command not found. The AWS version command return a different version than the you just want to type the Windows plus S, which means it will bring you where when you're going to type for environment variables, right? So this is the environment variables. You click there, and once you click on the environment variable, usually when I see that, we're just gonna go ahead and click again on environment variable. So once we have this environment variable here, we can see chocolate. Okay, so we just want to go ahead and look for the part where we can add this is it here. So let's go ahead and check for the part. You know what we are looking for, right? System variables. So once we go to the system variables, we want to click on path. And once we click on the path, we want to click on edit the path. So now on edit the path, we're trying to check our path. But this is it. Okay, this is the path 5 Amazon CLI version 2. It is actually here, but I don't know why it said it is not seeing the path. So we're gonna click this path, okay. Once we click that path, then this is the chocolate path also. Once we click the path, we're just gonna go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so now when we click on OK, we know we are done with that. So let's go back, bring back our CMD. So we're gonna go back here, PowerShell, right? We'll type PowerShell on my system. So I want an as administrator. Then we click yes, and let's see if we have that path right now. We have adjusted it. So let's see now if we can put this command and if it will work. Not this command, that's not what I want to run. Okay, I want to run AWS data version. Now it's working right now. You can see it's now working because we just adjust the path. So once you are having a scenario like this, right? You just want to go ahead because we have it installed. So you just want to go ahead and edit your environment variable just the way we did. Can you guys see? And now we have AWS data version. So we can go ahead now and run AWS command line. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code once more and see. Visual Studio Code. Let me go back and search for it. Okay, so we're gonna go back and say Visual Studio Code. So now in Visual Studio Code, right, we want to go back to CD TD. Okay, click back here, hide this. So we want to go and say CD TD to take us back to our home directory. Now we can say AWS dash dash version. Okay, and click on enter. Now you can see we is now showing back AWS version, which means AWS has been installed. Remember the step. It's not usually complicated, but should in case you are having all the complexity, you just want to go ahead and change your environment variable. That's just it. So you see what I did, right? So that is it. So we're gonna go ahead and try to install it also inside our Linux server. Okay, with our Linux server, right? I have a Windows server that I create. Let's come back here. We have to go back to Visual Studio Code. Okay. This is our Oracle VirtualBox. We have Vagrant, we have CentOS. They're all running, right? So they're all off now. So let me power them back on. We can power them on directly from here. We can click back on Start. Okay. Can click on Start here, and this machine will start. Or we can see click on Start in our command line. Okay. But we're starting it here. So this machine is gonna start. It's uploading. Yeah. So it has started. So you can still go ahead and work directly from here. I don't want to. So I'm just gonna go. Okay. So let's go back to our PowerShell. So we go back and see this into that part. So we're gonna go say cd my Vagrant. My Vagrant. Okay. Then we go ahead again cd CentOS because we are using with the CentOS. So click on the tab. No, not CentOS 7. Yeah, it's CentOS 7 anyway. So we click on it, we say ls, what are there? We have .vagrant, so we have our file here. So in here, we're just going to say vagrant. Our machine is already up. So I wanted to say, let's say vagrant up, but we don't need to say vagrant up. We just have to say vagrant SSH. Vagrant because it's already up, right? So vagrant SSH, so we can log into the machine through using our terminal. So let's wait for it to open. So we want to go ahead and work with this machine. So let's wait for it. It's already on, right? We can see it is already on when we use Visual Studio Code. Yeah, it's already on here. It's running. Yeah. So let's go back. What happened? They say Vagrant init to create a new Vagrant environment or get the ID. Okay. I did not check for the ID of the machine, so that is why it failed. So you want to get the ID. Vagrant global status. That's been long. I haven't used all this thing. So Vagrant global status, it will list you the status of the ID that you will have. You can see in this system we have this. For example, they are listing the Vagrant destroy. This is a statute. If you want to destroy one, this statute. But now, yeah. You can see we have two machines that are running. We have this machine and we have this other machine. So they are all running, right? CentOS Ubuntu is running. Um, Ubuntu is out here. I don't know why it says one. It doesn't supposed to be run. It's off. But our CentOS is here is running. So now we want to log in. So we're gonna click that CentOS ID copy. Then we go back and run this command. Vagrant SSH, then the statute, and it will log into that system. So you can see now we have logged in into the system. Let's clear. So now you can see we have logged in into our machine and we can become pseudo user, we can become whatever we want. So now in this scenario, we want to go ahead and install our AWS CLI using our CentOS server. Okay. So now in this scenario, we're just going to run the command sudo yum install the koi command because we need the koi command so that we'll be able to install the package that we want. So we're gonna say sudo sudo yum install koi dash y because that is what we want. We want to install this package, right? So click on it. So we are installing it on our system. It's actually installing. We are installing the koi package and now we are done installing the koi package. We want to go ahead and also install the unzip package. So we're gonna say we bring back the same command because it's the same thing. So we just want to go ahead and change the koi to unzip because we want to unzip the packet after we upload it from or after we install it from the internet. Okay, so we're gonna click on enter. Okay. So once we have the koi package installed and we also have the zip package installed, we want to go ahead and run the koi command and the package. So we want to use the packet. So where do you have this zip file? You just want to go ahead and search for it on the YouTube. On YouTube there you can always see the property that you need to install. Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and copy this command so that we'll be able to install our package. Okay, so you're gonna copy this command. So let me take you back to my document. Where is it? Let me minimize. So okay, let me copy this package. Okay, I have to copy this package. Okay, control. No, it's not copied correctly. Let me first of all, I want it to be highlighted to be big. It's not. So let's increase it to 14. Okay, so that I can be able to see. So this is the koi package that we want. So we're gonna click there to copy. Control C. So now that I copy it, I go back to Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so you want to paste it. Control V. Okay. What am I doing? Did I type something wrong? Of course, there is an error in my copy command, so I did not copy correctly. So let me see, bring it back. I just want to adjust it. So you just want to remove, it has to be COI command. So we're going to type all of this out. So this is it. So we're going to enter. It's actually uploading. And once it's uploaded, we can unzip the package. That is why we install the unzip package. So now we can use the unzip command to unzip, to unarchive the downloaded folder that we just installed. So for us to do that, we're gonna say unzip, okay, AWS CLI version CLI version 2, yeah, because the package is actually version 2, so they will say .zip. Okay, that is the command we are running. Can you guys see? Unzip AWS CLI version 2.zip. So now once we click that, it's going to unzip that package. That's what it's doing. And once we are done unzipping the package, we want to run the sudo dot. We are trying to look at the path, so we want to make sure that we run the command sudo dot /AWS/install. Okay, then now we can go ahead and check if it was installed. Okay, so now we can go ahead and run the command sudo, right? Sudo dot / you can see I'm typing AWS, that is / again, we click on installed. Okay, then we click on enter. And once we run this command, we want to go ahead again. Let's just give time. Okay, now it's completed. We want to go ahead now. You can run this. So we have it now in this bin bash. So our installer is in the user local bin bash /AWS dash version. So now we can run the command AWS dash version to make sure that we actually have AWS installed, AWS dash version, and click on enter. It would return back and show you the version that we have. So now you can see we have installed our AWS CLI, installed our system, so you can see the version. So we have it installed. So now we can now go ahead and use our environment. So this is just it. I don't know what else I have to say. The essence of this video was for us to actually go ahead and install AWS CLI on our Windows, of which we have some challenges, but I'm going to take out those troubleshooting error. I will leave them so that you'll be able to see them should in case you are facing this error, what you can do to resolve that. And once we were done with that, we went ahead and installed it on our Linux server, which was the CentOS 9 server that we have. You can always still go ahead and do the same on your Ubuntu server, but I don't think I want to go through that route. It's just the same thing. If you can do it on your Linux server, so you can also do the same thing on your Ubuntu server. So that was all about this video. From now, we can be able to use our Linux system and our Windows system to run or automate infrastructures in AWS or in any cloud platform. There's one thing that you need to remember. Once you are done working with everything, you want to make sure that you stop the system from running. So we can go ahead and exit by running the exit command, and we can say vagrant stop to stop the machine that is running. Okay. Okay, if you were able to watch this channel to this end, I hope you were able to learn something vital. Thank you for joining. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you want to make sure that you click the red subscribe button below and also click on the notification bell for an update so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Stay tuned as I'll be coming up with the next video on how we can create infrastructure on AWS using Terraform. Stay tuned for more. Ciao!
Solve on, let's build the future. One line of code, one dream at a time. From the cloud to the console, the rhythm flows. Innovation lives where the knowledge grows. SD Tech, your tech journey starts here. Code it, dream it, live it.